Picard Episode 9 review with spoilers. So I just finished watching it literally 5 minutes ago. So this is a very fresh, reaction. I haven't decided everything yet. I feel like this show constantly almost does something cool, but then backs down. Also, for a show that spends so much time on sentimentality and characters hugging each other and getting mad at each other, there's a surprising lack of character development in any character. None of them has any development. So at the beginning, the Borg cube, 7 of 9 brings the Borg cube to help Picard. But then, later it just crashes. So, again, I was like, okay, oh wow, this is cool. 7 of 9 has a Borg cube. Maybe she can reprogram the Romulans, turn them into Borgs, and, that would be a great thing. But no, it just crashes. Then in the opening credits, it says guest star Brent Spiner. So I'm thinking, oh my god, I can't believe this. Are they going to bring lore? Oh my god, that would be incredible. Oh, Picard tells his crew, for lack of a better word, that he's going to die. And, well, first of all, 2 of them just met him, so what would they care? And then the Raffi, we don't know who she is. I guess she's an old friend. But, I mean, why even bring this into it? It's irrelevant. And also, there's no point for him to tell them that. So it's just trying to build drama for the sake of it, right? And why stop there? After Picard says that he's got, he's gonna die, he's dying, they should have Raffi go, yeah, well, I'm also dying. And then Diaz can go, yeah, I'm dying too. I mean, why don't the writers just do that if that's how they think drama works? Or how about Picard announces he's dying, the girl announces she's pregnant, Diaz announces that he's a betazoid. So they crash land on the planet, and then they go and they find the Borg cube that crash landed. And that's all that happened in 16 minutes. A lot of beating around the bush and bullshit banter and blah, blah, blah. So they get onto the Borg cube, they see 7 of 9, and they see the elf samurai. And they say, oh, hi, how's it going? Okay, well, see ya. We're gonna go. You guys stay though. 7 of 9 and Samurai Elf stay on the cube for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. I don't know why. And that's pretty much it for them for the episode. Those 2. And as I've said before, I didn't pay entire attention. It's hard to pay attention to this show because there's so much bullshit. There's so much just nonsensical back and forth. Oh yeah, when he's on the Borg cube, somebody, one of the people who he told he's dying to, they say, oh yeah, and you're dying, Picard. And then, so that's how, what a subtle way of revealing to 7 of 9 and the Samurai Elf that he's dying. They just have somebody say, oh, he's dying. It kind of reminds me of The Room with Tommy Wiseau, where the old lady at one point, she goes, I got the results back. I definitely have breast cancer. And then it never comes up again in the rest of the movie. I mean, there's absolutely not one reason why he would tell them right now in the 9th episode that he's dying, as opposed to the 2nd episode or the 4th episode. There is nothing that makes it relevant to the plot whatsoever. So they go to the main town, and they find a bunch of data people. They all got yellow eyes. And I'm hoping so badly that Lore's going to show up and he's going to be in charge of all of them. I'm just like, oh, please, please, please. And then, no, it's just Brent Spiner in his current age. And I'm like, okay, so who the hell's this then? It's not Noonien Soong because he died. Is it a clone of Noonien Soong? No, it's Noonien Soong's son. Noonien Soong's son. And I'm just like, how many times are they going to bring back a descendant of Noonien Soong who looks identical to him? It never is like that in real life, Your son never looks identical to you. It's actually really hard to talk about this show without talking about nothing or talking about bullshit. It's like having to talk about nothing. It's like when you say, there's no holes in this thing because a hole requires substance around it, right? There's no substance here in the first place, so you can't even mention plot holes. So I'm not going to get into this plot at all, but I'm just going to say one of the stupidest things in this episode is that one of the androids can do the Vulcan mind meld. Now, there is no sense behind this at all. Which reminds me, in that episode with Troy, Troy says that she can't sense anything from the android Vash, right? Because Troy's a Betazoid. But the thing is, when Data got emotions in that episode of The Next Generation, Troy says, I sense emotions in you, Data. So that doesn't make any sense then. Why can, you know? Yeah, but anyway, so now on Star Trek, androids can learn the Vulcan mind meld. Oh, and they don't require Vulcan. They don't need to learn it from a Vulcan. They can just like read about it and learn how to do it. Oh, and the evil Romulan guy, he gets captured by, I don't know how he got captured. That doesn't get explained. Gets captured by the androids, and then later on in the episode, the android lets him go. It was just like, oh, okay. So what was the point? It's not like he did anything in this episode. So he just gets caught so they can let him go. Because they just need to have things happen in the plot because they don't have anything to write. These writers should be ashamed of themselves. They did this in the first episode when the other android girl, she comes to visit Picard. All the way across the galaxy comes to visit Picard. And then the next day she leaves. She goes, I don't want to put him in danger. So why didn't you think about this before you arrived? Like, you go all the way across the galaxy to see somebody, and then you have second thoughts, and you leave, and you go all the way back. Right? And they're doing this a lot, this kind of crap. He gets caught, he escapes, for no reason. Yeah, they did it with the samurai elf, where he's like, okay, no, Picard, I can't go with you. I'm going to stay here and make sure, cover your escape. He didn't cover his escape. And what does it matter? He could have just as easily came with him, because now he shows up in this episode, and no worse for the wear, and he says, oh, hi, Picard, look, I'm still alive. And Picard says, okay, you stay on the cube. Off I go now. What was the point? It's like in Infinity War, when Thor says to Rocket, why don't you come with me, you and the tree come with me, and the rest of the idiots can go there. It's like, yeah, okay, that was kind of arbitrarily chosen. I mean, it could have just as easily been Gamora that went with him, or Star-Lord, blah, blah, blah. But, okay, they do it once like that. Or, Hulk gets beamed to Doctor Strange's place. Okay, here and there you can do that. But this show, to liken this show to Infinity War, it would be like if he's like, okay, so the tree and Rocket are going to come with me, and you guys go there. And then later on in the movie, they meet up again, and he goes, okay, now Rocket, you go with Star-Lord, and Gamora comes with me, and the tree goes with you guys. And then way later in the episode, it's like, okay, now I'm going to go with the tree, and Rocket and Star-Lord go together. Gamora and Nebula, I don't know, flip a coin, and whoever wins comes with us. They introduce old characters like Hugh, only to kill him in the very next episode. They introduce, the doctor, whatever his name is, the guy who, Maddox, only to kill him as soon as he shows up. So, when in doubt, just have a character, any random character, die, or have any random character say they're going to die, or have any random character betray somebody for no reason. Really, you don't really need any reason. They were just programmed to. Right? In the previous episode, the Allison Pill doctor girl, she kills Bruce Maddox because she was brainwashed into doing it, right? Why not, right? And now in this one, the big reveal of this one is that the androids are going to actually try to wipe out all of organic life, which is, again, just an easy little switcheroo. But the problem with easy little switcheroos and easy little convenient random deaths is that the audience does feel yanked around. And Picard looks like an idiot now because he spent 9 episodes getting this android back to her people, only for that very android to team up with the people and say, fuck it, sorry Jean-Luc, we're killing you and we're killing your entire race. So like in one fell swoop, everybody on this show looks like an idiot now, including the androids. So now, no matter what happens in episode 10, Picard is an idiot who almost destroyed the human race. Because he's just a kooky old man who's got a mental disease. I mean, it's terrible when you're rooting for the villain, but I'm rooting for the villain. I want the androids to destroy all of organic life because they've made them look so stupid. So one of the androids frees the Romulan and frames him for the death of one of the other androids. And in order to vilify, make the Romulans look like villains, so that she can convince the rest of the androids to go to war against the Romulans and destroy all life in the universe. That is what happened. As if that was necessary. I mean, they already saw a prophecy that said that, you know, blah, blah, blah. You really need to frame the Romulan for murder? Like, that kind of treachery is so stupid. It's like something that somebody in grade 2 would do, like blaming somebody for cheating. Yeah, you know, it's just so infantile. And the fact that everybody would fall for it and that's what sways them is also retarded. So basically, they all look stupid now. I'm not going to bother getting into this plot because it's a joke. It's so bad. I might as well... I think soap operas have better constructed plots going on. And I'm not going to analyze them either. This is just the worst writing. This writing is worse than Star Trek Discovery Season 1. I'd like to have somebody edit this show down to just the interactions with previous characters, because that's the only thing worth watching on this show. Just edit it down to just the scenes with Jean-Luc Picard and Riker and Troy, and with 7 of 9 with Hugh, and then you got a good 3-minute reunion special. These people should be embarrassed and ashamed of themselves. Everybody involved in this show. I'm embarrassed and ashamed for them if they're too stupid to be ashamed and embarrassed for themselves. You know, the characters are also dumb. I'm not rooting for any of them, and none of them are likable. I'm not rooting for Picard and his little ragtag bunch because they're all boring and stupid. I hope Picard just dies of his Uromotic syndrome because he's useless now. He hasn't done anything good so far. And I'm not rooting for the Romulans because they're despicable. I'm not rooting... I'm rooting for the androids, if anybody. But barely, because they're stupid too. Anyways, this episode and this show just kind of left me with an empty feeling. The only thing that was good was watching Riker and the old people show up. Other than that, it's just... leaves me feeling empty. And I'll repeat from last video that the whole part 1 of 2, like the episode 9 and episode 10 are part 1 of 2 and part 2 of 2. But you've only got 10 episodes. I mean, when you only have 10 episodes that are all part of one story, they're all part of a whole, do you really need to create subcategories like part 1 of 2 within those 10 episodes? Chapter 9 part 1, chapter 10 part 2, or make up your mind. Are they episodes 9 and episode 10, or are they episodes 9.1 and episode 9.2, or episode 9 part 2? So I just watched Star Trek Picard season 1 episode 9 part 1, right? You know, just how pretentious. Not to mention that the title of this thing is something it's Arcadia Latin. It's a Latin title, right? Because Latin's so smart. I can't get over how annoying that is. Yeah, let's pretend this is Shakespeare or the Bible. Act 1, Chapter 1, Part 2, Book 3, Verse 5. If you asked the writers, why did you call this Part 1 of 2? Episode 9 and 10, Part 1 and Part 2. Give me one reason why you did this. They'd be, well, I don't know, it's the penultimate episode, so we thought it would be, it would get attention to make it look like there's a cliffhanger. I don't know, we just wanted hype. And I'd be like, okay, so writers, so you could just as easily have called episode 3 part 1 of 2 and episode 4 part 2 of 2 and gave them the same title too, right? Yeah. Or why didn't you just have it be episode 1 part 1 of 10, episode 2 part 2 of 10? Because that's how redundant this is. Even the titles for each episode are kind of redundant. I mean, they don't really say anything about the episode, as far as I can tell. There is no cohesive idea behind each episode that requires a title. And just to be fair, I gotta ask, would I say the same thing about Enterprise or Voyager? And I gotta think no, because those were at least positive, in tone. So for all their cheesiness and shitty, dialogue or whatever, at least they had kind of some ideas here and there. But this thing is grim as well as cheesy as hell. This is just such a missed opportunity. This is the last time we get to see Picard, and that's what we get. It kind of reminds me a lot of The Last Jedi in that regard. If you like gays, click like. If you like blacks, comment. If you like women, click notification bell. If you like gay women, subscribe. And if you like gay black women, Patreon, Human Warnings.